Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Umar Khan, and today we're going to be reviewing the ASUS ROG Strix G16. I think that's the full title. Very lengthy name. Let's get to it. First thing I want to talk about with this laptop is the Ubi, is opening up that box. It came in a generic ASUS cardboard box, and I wasn't thinking much of it because the Lenovo and the Alienware came in really nice boxes. After opening up this big box of brown, I found inside what looked like a new pair of Nikes. The design on the box goes with a common design that you might see for a lot of gaming, which is this kind of action-forward anime aesthetic. Totally get it. Looks like it fits the scene. Inside the box, you just slide it out and there's your laptop. Nice and folded up in plastic with a quick look at some of the key features of the Strix laptop. Inside this little compartment, you can find an AC adapter, which I want to say was a surprise to find that it was branded with the ROG logo on it, which makes it seem like it was made specifically for this. These AC adapters are made specifically for gaming laptops by ASUS. I like it, good touch. And other than that, there's no other delighters in this box. No hats, shirts, stickers, just this and some manuals, but overall, that's really all you really need from your box. If I'm gonna get a lighter, I'd like it to be something that I can use more often or showcase some sort of brand pride, but hey, I'm gonna be carrying around the laptop anyway. Why do I need like a sticker or a lanyard? But enough about the box, let's look at the laptop itself. The first thing I wanna look at is the industrial design of the ASUS ROG laptop. The design itself follows a very clean cyberpunk aesthetic. You can see that with the way that they utilize the different tones of grays, blacks, and silvers that are across this laptop, and every inch of it has a meaningful design to it. Even the back showcases the gritty rebelliousness that is found in a cyberpunk type of art design. You can find that gritty feel with the paint speckled back of the chassis. And you can find that design not only from the top but all the way down to the bottom. You can find rubberized feet, which shouldn't be something I need to be talking about, but if you look at this, it adheres really well to the desk. Like, you can't push this laptop with that little force. You actually have to put a little bit of muscle into it. And again, the design on the bottom, even in an area that you're not really seeing, looks really, really nice. And I think that's because they expect you to be carrying this at all sorts of different angles. So why not showcase premium design inside, out, top to bottom? And that's what they do with the ASUS ROG Strix G16 laptop. Turning on the system, I get a unique boot up animation and sound, something that I haven't found in any other PC OEM gaming laptop. It's a nice touch to add to making ROG a bit different than other gaming laptops. Once I turn on the system, you can see the beautiful radiance of the colors in their Nebula display. This QHD Plus display is absolutely beautiful, and it comes in at 240 Hz. And the display itself is TUV certified for blue light safety. Considering how much weight ASUS ROG puts into their customization options, let's take a look at their lighting. If you notice, there isn't lighting in the back of this system. And honestly, I kind of like that. Lighting shouldn't be where I can't really see it or interact with it. It shouldn't be in the back. I don't need that. But their lighting is where it matters. Their lighting is part of their premium front of screen experience. You have their RGB per key keyboard that's also lit up, and you have this strip of light that's also lit up right below the touchpad. And on the note of the touchpad, I want to talk about how it doesn't light up itself. You can't customize it to have any sort of RGB colors to it. However, if you notice on this keyboard, there isn't a numpad on there. If I press this button on the touchpad though, it opens up numpad functionality. I thought this was a really great way of using every inch of this laptop meaningfully. Their keyboard itself is very standard for what you would expect out of a premium gaming laptop today. All the zones are individually lit. You can assign a color to each different key on this keyboard. It's not mechanical, which kind of sucks a little bit, but honestly, when you get a separate mechanical keyboard, which I imagine you're gonna do in any sort of gaming setup that you have, standalone mechanical keyboards are way better. You can customize their keycaps a lot easier. There are all sorts of variances that you can mess with to find what you like in regards to your touch point actuation. And this keyboard that the ASUS ROG comes with is a 1.9mm travel time, which is actually really good for a gaming laptop to reduce finger fatigue and offer greater input response. And speaking of the functionality of the keyboard, the macros that you can assign to it are multi-touch, and you can also assign them to quick launch applications, which I find, as someone that does a lot of virtual tabletop gaming, very useful for me as a DM. I'm able to open up campaign books, character sheets, all that, just from pushing a quick bunch of buttons instead of going through my file explorer and finding these files. The I/O ports are located exactly where you'd expect them to be, on the sides of the machine. There's easy access to feel your way around to find the different ports that you need, without needing much visual clarity to get up and turn the laptop around. It has two USB-C ports, one of which has Thunderbolt 4 capabilities, and you'll find standard two USB 3.2 Type A's also available, and an RJ45 jack. And what I like about their AC adapter that they have is that it has the barrel design, but you can actually turn this barrel so that way it starts to create kind of like a clean desktop setup. It's not something that just sticks out and goes off the side of the desk. You can easily make it just go toward the back of the desk. I like that it has this kind of radial barrel. And not just that, it has straps so you can organize the cables down there. It's a great first step for people that want to try to create like nice wired setups. It's nice that it actually has a strap that allows you to do that without trying to save the tie wraps that most AC adapters come with. The main software component that you're going to find here is Armory Crate. There are a couple other softwares on there like my ASUS that they'd like to highlight, but overall what you're going to be using to control your lighting and your system overclocking is going to be found in Armory Crate. Armory Crate itself is very flashy. It has a very race car dashboard kind of vibe to it. You have these different presets that allow you to use their predefined overclocking settings. The problem that I found here was that there wasn't like a clean way for them to display what values were actually changing. I knew my system was utilizing more of its processing power because I could see it in my benchmark scores, but there wasn't anything showcasing that it was getting any better. I didn't see any clock speeds increase. I didn't see any like predefined numbers of what it should be running at when I put it into these different presets. Maybe it's in the BIOS, but most PC OEMs now, I can kind of just see that in the OS. Moving on, we can find that your lighting is actually controlled in your device settings section. And here you can control not just your lighting, but you can create multi-touch macros with their macro buttons that they have. The lighting itself is giving you exactly what you would expect out of any of the RGB lighting softwares that are out there in the world. And if you're looking for inspiration, they do have a section that showcases their RO wallpapers, which are these kind of like live wallpapers or set a certain vibe for what Republic of Gamers wants to represent to its users. They have lighting schemes, enemy customizations for people that have laptops that offer that. There's a nice little area to kind of show you like the capabilities of what ASUS thinks their laptops can do from a lighting and visual aesthetic that they can provide. You can also find in Armory Crate the ability to find drivers, update them, and install them right from there. I find that very useful to have all that accommodated in one place. They also have a digital storefront for you to purchase games. I mean, it's nice. I guess it's another avenue for them to make money post-purchase from you. I mean, you might be browsing it while you're updating your system or messing with your lights. One thing I didn't notice was any sort of like system well-being applications or feature sets. There was nothing here to check my hard drive, to check the health of my GPU or my memory. I didn't see any of that diagnostic tool that you would find like in Alienware or Lenovo, for example, in the Armory Crate. Maybe it's in the my ASUS application. That's a totally separate application, but that tells me that it just tracks my warranty, really. So why would I go use a whole separate application for that when Armory Crate seems to be very feature rich? It has a lot of features to it. I don't know, but that's kind of worrying to me that I can't just use built-in tools, self-diagnose the system with their own tools that they provided for it. Design is great, but it doesn't mean much if you can't touch your system. So when I was running performance benchmarks, I took out my heat gun to see the temperature of the system's surface temps. Most of the heat was in the back of the system, away from any place that I would normally be touching it, and most of the cool points were where my hands would normally be on hours of gaming sessions. I found despite what the heat gun was reading that it was still a very comfortable temperature, even in the areas that showcased hotspots. Talking about the noise that the system makes, looking at the ambient zones that my room was at and the difference that it was at when the ASUS ROG laptop was running benchmarks is very minimal. It gives you the amount of sound that you would expect out of a gaming laptop that was under heavy load. It's definitely not a gaming laptop that you want to be using while your teacher's doing a lecture. You don't want it to be running these high-end programs and it's just loud as hell. It sounds like a hovercraft about to go off. But now let's talk about performance. We got a 4070 NVIDIA RTX GPU. This GPU seems to be the cutoff for most PC OEMs utilizing their most innovative thermal and overclocking capabilities. And because of this, our 4070 isn't cooled by the conductor knot that is utilized in its 4080 and 4090 thermal solutions. So let's see how well this GPU holds up against these different performance benchmarks. I've set the system in the preset turbo mode and GPU mode ultimate preset in the Armory Crate application. The games that I ran gave you an MMO experience with Final Fantasy Endwalker, an action-adventure scenario with Cyberpunk 2077's in-game benchmark, and finally, taxing the CPU with an RTS game, Total War Warhammer 3, and we're going to be using the Battle benchmark. For more synthetic and comparative benchmarks, we ran 3D Mark's suite of Speedway DX12 test, the Firestrike DX11 test, the CPU profile test with max threads, and a storage benchmark test as well. Looking at the scores, the ASUS ROG Strix G16 laptop hit some of the top scores for a laptop of its configuration and class. The only thing that stood out to me was the storage benchmark test, which had very low scores compared to any other laptop that I had run. So I decided to do a boot up performance test across the 3 different laptops, the ASUS, Alienware, and Lenovo laptops. The ASUS laptop booted up at 27 seconds on average, while the Alienware and Lenovo were around 13 to 15 seconds on average. That seems like a really significant boot up time difference between the 3, and I think that this may have to do with the boot up animation and sound making the system take longer to reach Windows. So all in all, I really like the ASUS ROG Strix G16 laptop. I think it's actually one of the best gaming laptops I've used in years, and I did competitive analysis every single year across multiple different brands and companies. And this laptop, honestly, it gives me those 2010s kind of gaming vibes, but taken to a new level. It's very familiar, it's very nostalgic. I like the look and design of this. I like the use of lighting on this device. I think the keyboard is very good. I think the screen is absolutely beautiful. The thing I don't like about this system is honestly Armory Crate. I don't like how cumbersome Armory Crate comes off as with all the features that it has, because it has a lot of features, but they don't present them very easily. They don't give you meaningful information across the different presets that you're setting up. And on top of that, it has its own audio settings when it already had its audio calibrated with Dolby Atmos. So I'm wondering why Dolby Atmos isn't integrated into Armory Crate, or not. It's not even quick launched from it, which is strange. It's kind of like this broken experience, especially when you go to the Dolby Access app and it has a badge that says that it was calibrated for ASUS ROG. So there's clearly some sort of branding discussion happening between the two, but I'm not seeing it happening in Armory Crate specifically. The system's performance is top notch. I love the custom boot up. I love the sound. If you don't care about performance scores in regards to your storage, I mean, this laptop is top notch. I also questioned the storage scores that I got. The boot up time was way too long, and I wasn't sure if it was the boot up animation and sound, which I really like, or if it was just that I just had bad storage. Again, having some sort of self-diagnostic tool readily available would have been very useful for me to determine if my storage space was actually damaged in some way. Now, I don't know if it's the Micron, and I don't know if it's the boot up animation and sound. I don't know why my system takes so long to boot up, and I don't know why its storage scores are so low. Again, I'm using what's built into the device and what is easily seen in front of me. I know there's plenty of tools that could have helped me diagnose that, but I'm looking at it as someone that got this as their first gaming laptop. I think anybody that'll get the ASUS ROG Strix G16 laptop this holiday season is going to be very pleased with this laptop. It's cool, it feels premium, inside, out, top to bottom, the sound, the feel, the performance, everything about this laptop is top tier. It is one of the best gaming laptops I've used in a long time, especially one that is situated in a 4070 class GPU range. If you guys found this video useful, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel. That'll make me very happy. On top of that, you can ding that bell. That way you get notified whenever I do upload a new video. It might be a performance video, it might be a review about gaming computers, it might be something about Warhammer. I don't know, this is my channel. I like to have fun, it's my thing, it's my creative space. Join me, be part of my creative space with me, it'll be cool. But that's it, that's all I got for this video. Stay tuned, because my next video is gonna go over the Alienware M16 laptop. Catch you all then. I'm Umar Khan. Bye.